Spending cash may be going out of style.
Some say corporations know more about each of us than the government ever will. And when it comes to new technologies like biometrics, one expert says that technology is advancing faster than our ability to contain it.
Would you swallow this pill so you didn't have to remember another password or wear an electronic tattoo identifying you to get better deals? It's not sci-fi. These are real, and it's just the beginning of a tech revolution.
All kinds of things that we don't even think about, where we shop in the store, what things we pick up, are starting to be recorded and analyzed.
Tom Keenan of the Canadian Global Affairs Institute says biometric ID is advancing faster than our ability to contain it, and he calls it creepy.
There's no way society can keep ahead of this.
We've seen retinal scans in airports. Now even some U.S. schools use them to speed up cafeteria lines. Cars use them instead of keys. Banks are lining up to implement the technology at ATMs. It makes it easier for us, but also easier for the people who watch us.
So somebody with enough data processing power, which is dirt cheap now, can go out there and follow everything that you do.
Police use facial recognition software to scan huge banks of images, and they're testing ways to identify us just by the way we walk. Keenan says that technology will come to the store down the street.
So next time you go into the Walmart, maybe it knows as you walk in there who you are, that you're pre-diabetic, et cetera, and suddenly you start being manipulated.
The company Nimi's wristbands use our heartbeat to identify us for finances, for passwords, for booking travel. Keenan worries we'll simply accept new technologies because it's easy without thinking hard about how others might use it.
While EU countries are buckling under the continuing pressure of hundreds of thousands of refugee arrivals, leaders are scrambling to find ways to manage the crisis. Last year, the European Commission ordered Italy to use force if necessary to make refugees and migrants have their fingerprints taken.
One thing the EU is following through on, ensuring that migrants are fingerprinted and registered at the hotspots. These young men from Darfur and Sudan have asked not to be identified. They've been in Lampedusa for 3 months. They're among the few who protested who haven't yet been taken to mainland Sicily and fingerprinted. They say police are using force to get fingerprints, and that a few of them are being denied medical treatment.
So there's this new program out, and it's we've seen all these face swapping apps. Like if you're on Snapchat, they have where you can face swap with people. And now there's a face swapping technology called face-to-face. Face-to-face, it requires only target footage, which in this case, they're using footage of George W. Bush or Vladimir Putin, so that they can take an actor or video from a news broadcast, and then there's an actor who on the side, it records their face, and so that actor is able to say whatever they want, and it morphs the video on the news broadcast. So it looks like George W. Bush is saying what this actor wants him to say.
And somebody releases it out there, and then it becomes news through Twitter. And before people have any time to realize it's a hoax, it's done. People would have to go back and actually find the original clip and go, no, here's what he actually said. This is something else.
To 5 games, but in the end, a computer program beat a human brain at the ancient Chinese board game of Go. The final score, 4-1, a triumph for artificial intelligence equipped with human intuition.
The victory of a program over a human in the ancient board game Go has sparked intrigue and, in some cases, concern. It shows that a machine has approximated human intuition and outsmarted the best human brain in the game. It's something that scientists hadn't expected to happen for at least another decade. And it's a giant leap for artificial intelligence, showing that machines can learn on their own.
The first demonstration that machines can truly learn and think in a human way.
I was defeated entirely. I had barely taken the lead from the very beginning, and I saw no mistakes made by the computer. Yesterday, I could still say that the computer played Go in a strange manner, but the computer defeated me perfectly today.
AlphaGo's victory shocked experts in the artificial intelligence community. Many thought such an event was at least a decade away. With computing power growing exponentially, a future of artificially intelligent machines that learn from their mistakes now looks closer than ever.
It's kind of crazy. Definitely outside the box. But it's convenient.
One area of business is shaking up how we pay for things.
You don't need your phone, you don't need your keys, you don't need a scan card.
It's the first cash register of its kind in the Midwest, and it's right here in Rockford.
A lot of people don't want to bring in their wallets, don't want to bring in any cash.
Whitney Martin profiles how the future of credit cards is inside our hands. Wednesday on 23 News.
A lot of us can't leave home without our smartphones or tablets, but would you implant that type of technology under your skin? One Vancouver man did, saying it's a growing trend for people wanting to advance their body and mind. CTV's Yvonne Raymond reports.
Mostly alcohol, some special patented stuff.
What's about to happen is not an injection of medicine.
Just deep breath in and out.
It's a microchip that's about the size of 2 grains of rice, a process the Vancouver man having it done calls an example of biohacking. Nicholas Badminton calls himself a futurist. He had his chip implanted in front of an audience in 2014.
It contains a very small amount of information, so you could actually put a website URL on there, or a phone number, your email, or whatever. And if you've got an Android device or an NFC device like that, and you can scan it, then up pops my contact details. It's that virtual transferable business card. I just felt that it was really interesting to start thinking about different control mechanisms in the world.
Those keen on the idea believe biohacking could help change the way of the future.
Doing these smaller experiments, it's like, I don't need keys. I don't need a business card.
Taking science into their own hands, one participant at a time.
A growing tech trend takes personal computing to its highest level. It's gone from hands-on to hands-in. More people are biohacking their own bodies. Implanted computer chips that can perform a wide range of tasks.
The limits, it's a limitless technology. There's tons of things we can do with it, and we're really just getting started.
And Garrett Fry is getting first-hand experience on just what the future may hold.
Garrett Fry's implant is very simple. Like he said, it's not much more complicated than the identification implant that you would put in your dog or your cat. But they're getting more and more complex, recording body functions for long periods of time. Some of them functioning as compasses that you can get your directions, see them lighted up through your skin.
The technology is just starting to take off, and more people are embracing it or ingesting it. Biohacking has sparked moral and ethical discussions, and in computing circles, it has raised security questions.
My voice is my power. My mark will be permanent. The transformation is coming, and there is strength in numbers.
Excuse me, sir. Forgot your receipt.
Checkout lines. Who needs them?
Have a nice day.
This is the future of e-business.